Big Ashe. Peace, family. Just letting it pile up in here. Peace to the gods and goddesses. Thank y'all for tapping in. It's a lot to talk about. I haven't built with y'all in a minute. Thank y'all for pulling in. Big Ashe, peace and love, cosmic family.
Peace and love.
So we was discussing the 3IAtlas, and we was, it's a lot to unpack when it comes to this interstellar object, right? There's a lot of discussions about the 3IAtlas, a lot of additional information been surfacing. She put some tarot cards on the 3IAtlas recently. My goddess put some cards on the 3IAtlas, and we kind of wanted to share what she put with the collective and give y'all a viewpoint of what's going on. Looking at the comments here, I've been suffering with depression. Could it be that she has parasites in her brain? Might have been. Well, depression could be also attributed to the Schumann resonance spikes, cosmic family. That's been known to amplify cortisol levels. Yeah. All right. Yes, stress could be associated with parasitic invaders, but there's a lot of additional energy currently hitting the planet because right now we're approaching our solar maximum right now. All right. The sun has been more active than it has been in the last 25 years. All right. The activity in the sun has been more peculiar than it has been in the last 11 years. But
and it's affecting everybody differently. Some people are experiencing depression. Some people are experiencing anxiety. Where they can't sleep and they're just feeling just on edge. They're ringing in the ears. Headaches. All of that stuff is all contributed to the Schumann resonance and the Earth's energy. And the sun flares have been just really popping off. So all of those things are really can attribute to depression right now.
Now, a lot of times that can be attributed to the metals, too. The metals in our body can make us aggy. This is why we drink in the chlorophyll. We recommend consumption of the chlorophyll. It's important to detox the metals like the lead, the cadmium, the mercury, the aluminum out of your blood right now. Because right now I express when we talk about the sun, we're talking about ionizing particles that emit what's called neutrinos, all right? These neutrinos are consistently passing through our body. That's what a lot of people don't know. There's consistently ionizing particles passing through your body on a consistent basis. This is the reason why they utilize the toxic metals, all right? Your melanin has a very special connection with light, right? It's a biological black hole that absorbs all forms of light. Sun rays, lunar rays, microwaves, waves we can't see, all right? The melanin is constantly absorbing. So if they implement certain metals, all right, like the lead, the cadmium, the mercury, the aluminum, the barium, that's typically emitted through your chemtrails, then it basically disturbs the melanogenesis process. Your melanocytes are absorbing these ionizing particles, and it converts it through what's called melanogenesis. When the toxic metals are there, unfortunately, it disturbs that process, and a lot of times individuals, no matter how much melanin you have, if you have toxic metals, you can still be a victim of heat exhaustion due to all of the metals in your body. All right, so this is one of the things we're going to really have to purge in order to transmute that energy during the solar maximum.
Okay.
All right. And now just to say, the 3IAtlas, from what I've researched, from what I heard, the 3IAtlas is actually hit directly with a solar flare. In regards to it, and it's going to have a relationship. Something peculiar with the 3IAtlas is working in synergy with our sun, with our central sun. All right. Now, again, we have more than one sun. So it's not affecting the black sun, but it is affecting our central sun. All right. And what's happening is it's actually causing more coronal mass ejections to be emitted, because right now our magnetosphere is also weaker than it has ever been.
Right.
All right. The magnetosphere is that area that actually stretches out about 63 kilometers up. All right. And it's what protects us from radiation and gamma radiation and things of that nature. But she has some very interesting information in regards to the 3IAtlas, in regards to the cards that was pulled associated with the 3IAtlas.
Yeah. So I pulled some cards, and the first card, which was really interesting, that was pulled, and I did it in front of him, so he's seen the cards already. But the Four of Cups, right? And so the Four of Cups, in my interpretation of everything, is about like he's contemplating options, which option to take. There's different things in front of him, right? And right now we're at a time right now in the world where we are kind of being divided between this 3D, 4D, 5D, right? There's a lot of these things going on as we continue to elevate. we either are going to, elevate and be more in tap with our higher selves, or we're going to fall back into the old false programming with the lower selves. So I looked at this like this is the choice and the option. This is where we are right now, and we're all deciding, where we're going to go, which part we're going to fall on, right?
Because it's a split, right?
Because it's a split. It's a split right now, with the Earth. So with New Earth versus falling back into the old programming. So then the second one was the Page of Wands and the Page of Wands is all about new beginnings. It's about planting seeds with a new beginnings, putting your stake into something new, a new foundation being built.
Okay.
So again, falls in line with everything, right? We got options. We got to figure out where we're going to go. We're going to go with our higher selves or lower selves. We're going to be stuck in this illusion, or we're going to elevate in consciousness. And the second one is about new beginnings, planting the seed, rolling into something new. And the third one, which looks like a scary card, which, is the Ten of Swords, which is all about sleepless nights, not being able to, really be present. All the disturbing things that are going on right now. There's so many different things that are going on around the world. Think about the EBT situation with many people, the government. All these things are a part of, and it's really getting to people, right? Everybody has been feeling this energy, this really low vibrational energy as it relates to everything that's going on. But, we're moving on to calmer waters. We're moving on to something new. So it coincides with the new beginning. We have the options. We've got, new earth, new beginning, all of the things that we have been experiencing, all these things are behind us. These are no longer going to apply. We're purging right now. We're moving out of this era, and we're moving on to calmer waters, onto something new beginning, something that, is going to be a new earth that we're going to be able to build. And then the other card that I pulled was the Star card. This is the Aquarius card. This is about the age of Aquarius. So I can't make this stuff up. This is about moving into calmer water. She's pouring water. She's pouring life, renewal of everything within the age of Aquarius. We know that it's moving into a better, more, humanitarian type of environment where it's about love, right? The frequency is changing. And then the last card was the Ten of Pentacles. So this is all about prosperity, abundance, building something really new and something that is, established financially, abundance in every way. So we're going to be all abundant and prosperous at the end of the day. So we're going through some rocky waters, but right now is the precipice where we're making this decision in terms of how we are going to, where we're going to end up, right? And then with that, we're going to either be in this new earth, or we're going to fall back into the old programming. But all of the sleepless nights, everyone that's ascending, that is wanting to be and building upon the new earth, all these days are behind us, right? And then we're going to be moving on to calmer waters where we're going to be abundant and things are going to flow. So that's what I got for the 3IAtlas.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. So basically, it's a representation of transformation. All right. So when we talk about the 3IAtlas, these are again, it's an interstellar object that represents inward activation, right? And a lot of times they speak amongst each other. So now let's really delve into it. When they first seen the 3IAtlas, it was the color red, all right, initially Cosmic Family, which is the personification of root chakra, fight or flight, our complex, right? Then later on, they're reporting that the 3IAtlas is now the color green, all right, which is that same color that the planet is engulfed in when we see the aurora borealis. It's that green, it's that heart chakra energy, that green ethereal cosmic energy. So now that's the color of the the 3IAtlas. It's the color that the aurora borealis, it has so many significance when we talk about the heart chakra. Now, obviously, from getting to the root to the heart, you have to first get to the heart in order to ascertain that third eye. That third eye activation, you have to first reach the heart. And one of my experiences, I always talk about how I was told that the love frequency is going to be the most important thing that matter really in regards to us moving into new earth. It's going to be the embodiment of staying in that 528 hertz resonance, which is the love frequency. That's what it's really going to be predicated on. Seeing how much we can maintain that love frequency, because there's going to be a lot of things that's going to try to test our resilience. All right. This is another reason why I talk about cleansing yourself. All right. Making sure that you're fasting, making sure that you're grounding, making sure that you're meditating, making sure that you're avoiding low frequency foods, particularly bioengineered food. All right. Processed or packaged food or dry foods. All right. Right now, you're going through a huge ascension process, Cosmic Family, believe it or not. You're transforming every nanosecond. And the Schumann resonance has been off the hook. I always say that. All right. I always talk about a great herb that you can take right now. It's ashwagandha. All right. That's going to be an herb that's going to basically lower your cortisol levels to allow you to maintain your stress. All right. It maintains the HPA, which is the hypothalamus pituitary adrenal axis. This is what stimulates cortisol. Ashwagandha has the ability of basically alleviating the production of cortisol, which in turn reduces your stress response. It's called an adaptogenic. So ashwagandha is something that I highly recommend consuming right now. Also getting to the point where you're detoxing the body. Utilization of things like chlorophyll and a parasite cleanse are going to be essential for to keep your mood on point. Right? Peace to the gods and goddesses here. But yes, it's a lot of energy that's hitting the planet currently, and how we maintain and facilitate this energy all determines our ability in regards to, because she explained earlier that it's going to be a split. It's going to be a split. So it's a false timeline and it's a timeline of ascension. All right. So we have the ability of vibrating to either timeline based on our neurophysiology, where we are mentally, where we are as far as our frequency, because it's all predicated on frequency.
Because you'll see a lot of things going on right now, all these different, messages, and some of them are fear mongering, right? They're trying to put us in a state of, fear, because we are the creators, right? So therefore, wherever we're putting our energy as a collective, we end up in that narrative. So we want to stay away from the fear mongering. We want to stay, on a side of optimism and positive things happening. And that's what we'll create together. There's a lot of people that are talking about New Earth, and a lot of people are talking about this in a positive way, and that's where we are going to vibrate with our frequency. Sure. But it's a lot of doom and gloom stuff going around where people are, saying, oh, this 3IAtlas is going to do this and that, and then of course, you know what I'm saying, that's what they want us to manifest. So we just have to be very careful of where we're putting our energy, because we are super powerful. And actually, a lot of people are experiencing heightened psychic abilities right now, just with the solar flare and the activity that's been going on. A lot of heightened, psychic abilities, where you're starting to, be more clairvoyant, or, clairsentient, different things. I know I've been feeling some of it now. You've had that experience.
Yes.
So
times where we'll read each other's mind almost, right?
Exactly.
You know what each other thinking before we say it type stuff.
Right.
Somebody asked me, does chlorophyll help with iron? Chlorophyll does help with iron, but I made mention of ashwagandha. Ashwagandha is going to be better because it actually strengthens the hemoglobin, which is in turn going to be better for your iron. So ashwagandha also will work for iron, but yes, chlorophyll also will work, because in ancient times we didn't have an iron molecule, we had a magnesium molecule. So chlorophyll cleanses the blood. It has an organic fat substance called mycelium that wraps around unwanted materials to pull them out of the blood. So in turn, it purifies the blood throughout the cleansing process. Now, I can't confirm or deny this, but somebody told me that they had HIV and made me aware that after utilization of the chlorophyll, they went back for their labs and they couldn't find it. And they've been utilizing chlorophyll since I put them on it, and consistently utilizing it to the point where, now again, I can't confirm or deny this.
Right.
But it was an individual that stated that after consistent utilization of chlorophyll, that he no longer had HIV in his blood after going to his labs. So that was very interesting. That was very interesting. Let's see here. Yeah, somebody, I seen that. Does chlorophyll help with iron levels? I seen that. Let's see here. Thanks for the gods and goddesses. Please, how to heal astral parasite? Well, one way you could probably heal an astral parasite will be sound healing, Cosmic Family. That's one way I would recommend. Yeah. Just imagine emanating a bright, bright light. From the crown all the way to the root, this light is bright and intensely bright. It's so bright that no archons or anything could even be in your morphogenetic field. And the more you imagine that bright light and emanate that energy while utilizing crystal healing, it emanates a bright light that burns archons out of your auric field. And it also seals up holes in your auric debris, holes in your auric field, and eradicates any auric debris through sound healing. Through sound healing, you can actually eradicate an archon or any form of disease or ailment before it manifests into the form of some type of sickness. just by sound healing. All right. Most diseases and sicknesses and parasites lay in your auric field before they take materialization into your body. So just like when she just used the crystal sound healing, that's going to be very essential. Not only that, things like spiritual baths. Right?
Yeah, absolutely. Spiritual baths are really important, and depending on the components in the spiritual bath, it can draw out all the impurities and release all the toxins in the bath, and then open you up more to that connection. So, and also lighting a candle, crystals around always help because that amplifies that energy. So.
Now she have a candle I wanted to highlight called Purity. All right, this candle contains red dragon resin. All right, that ancients utilized it in the 15th century for repelling malevolent spirit forces. It's called red dragon resin. I made you aware that Tiamat is a dragon planet. All right, the people on Canary Island believed that this tree was a dragon tree. When they cut the tree, it actually bleeds this red sap. They would experiment with the sap. They would put it on wounds. It would heal wounds faster. They would utilize and burn this sap, and it would actually amplify certain psychic abilities, right? Like clairaudience, psychometry, retrognosis, all of these different abilities that we all have. This red dragon resin was amplifying it. Now, ironically, it's the color of life force energy is red, which is the color of Ashe. When they would burn it, they also found out that it protected them against malevolent spirit forces. It prevented them from having enough Ashe to pierce from their dimensional realm of reality to this reality. It basically prevented them from doing that. So, and again, I had people, and she has this in her candle. It's the Purity candle. It's composed of red dragon resin, sage, and Palo Santo. Literally. And
frankincense as well.
When you light this candle, you would notice the energy completely gets lighter as far as densities and malevolent spirits. CERN is operating crazy right now. All right, CERN with their Hadron Collider, they found a way. They have another portal opened up apparently underneath CERN. All right, and it's more than one CERN. It's not just the CERN in Switzerland. They have multiple laboratories. Again, and one of the things the CERN is trying to ascertain, they utilize Project Looking Glass. We know that to try to find a timeline when they win. But the whole mimicry of CERN is to mimic melanin. All right, because this is also why they have the inverted sixes in their logo. It represents 6 protons, 6 neutrons, and 6 electrons. And we know that the true God particle is that black dot, that melanin. We know that. So this is what CERN is trying to emulate. But we all have those abilities. This is one of the reasons why they're utilizing chemtrails. They're utilizing endocrine disruptors and everything in their power to pretty much prevent us from ascertaining that God particle. Because we all are basically walking Hadron Colliders, Cosmic Family. We all are Hadron Colliders, and we're way more powerful than anything that CERN has. But I said all that. I went off point. The Purity candle has all those components, and it really protects you from archons. Since CERN's working overtime, family, and this is facts. Listen, your animals might be weird, seeing things in the corner and stuff. The dogs will be barking for nothing. Now, nothing. We don't see it with the naked eye, but we only see 0.35% of the light photon spectrum. They can see more. So they barking at stuff. You know what I mean? So this is why I said the Purity candle is going to clean out any negative, nefarious energy because it has all those constituents in one candle. Then when you fuse that with plasma energy, something very magical happens, right? Yep, I was told to really align my frequency at this time. Ashe. That's very important. That's very important, Cosmic Family. Much gratitude and love to the both of you and everyone in the chat. Ashe. Peace and love to you.
Peace and love.
Hi to you both. Peace and love to you, family. Thank you for joining and watching. I just left that sound in my entire body. Wow.
Wow, that's beautiful. Peace and love. Gratitude.
They said you just felt the whole sound. See, and it's imagine in person.
We feel it too. Like we do it in the rising, and we just close our eyes and we can feel it. You know, you can feel it penetrating and healing. You know, your on this molecular level.
Yes, you can.
I always gotta slow down and say that word.
Yeah, you can. So much cloud seeding lately. Well, you know what? When the government froze for a minute, people said it was less cloud seeding. All right, so you can see the turn, just like she said when she put those clouds. There's negative energy, but it's all dying out now. They know that 6,000 years is up. Right. All right, so yes, it's cloud seeding because they're trying their best. They say this they last hurrah. All right, and I told you the clouds are seeded with toxic metals to basically prevent those ionizing particles from converting you, because you have something called sun heat genes that works synergistically with the sun. Because your melanin is a semiconductor, but when exposed to large amounts, it then becomes a superconductor. And where you can access this, what they call junk or dormant DNA. what are some good methods to secure and protect our energy aura fields? I'll express just raising your frequency is the first one. Not feeling that you're susceptible to attacks. When you believe it, like, oh man, I need protection, then you open, automatically your morphogenetic field sends off a signal to these archons that you have fear. That's the first thing they look for. So the first thing you want to eradicate is any fear, any beliefs, or anything that's basically holding you to the energy of fear. Then from there, you can do things like we said, sound healing. You can do your affirmations, your spiritual baths.
Yeah. And what makes you happy? What makes you in high frequency? Like putting on your music, dancing, whatever makes you feel good in high frequency. Is what's most important. But I also want to. I mentioned this we were on TikTok live that we are human. We are going to fluctuate. We're going to have some really good high vibrational days, and we're going to have some days that are low. But we have to understand that it's okay to have low vibrational days too, as long as we learn from those days and we transmute that energy so we can get back into the high frequency. But the best thing to do is not to have any guilt around it or feel bad, because we're all going through this, and these energies are hitting us differently. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes it can make you feel real good, and then the next minute you're feeling irritated. But what's most important is just transmuting that energy, learning from it, because this is really, we're being faced with ourselves now, right? We're faced with, that shadow side even more. So we have to learn how to, heal past that, and then release that energy, and then get right back into that high frequency. Catch ourselves and admit it, and just move forward.
Yeah. Ashe. That's a fact. That's a fact. Now, one thing I really wanted to highlight, and that was really bothering me, right, in reference to, now, first and foremost, with this cosmic shift, right, one of the biggest attacks is on a divine feminine energy, all right? And it's primarily because the divine feminine holds the most cosmic codes, all right? So typically they attack anything about y'all as far as the health and beauty industry, everything they attack with the divine feminine. Now you was telling me about like how they've been utilizing toxic metals in some of the bras,
right? And
how they basically geared towards the attacking the heart chakra, basically how they utilize these bras with toxic metals like aluminum, lead, cadmium, and mercury. And a lot of the times the goddesses are inflicted with breast cancer. It's not a natural occurring thing. This is something that's given to the goddesses basically by the bras and stuff. Would you like to expound on that a bit?
Yeah, absolutely. So, when you think about the underwire, we're having these wires, like he mentioned, lead, cadmium, mercury, all these things are just rubbing right underneath us every day. Those wires are toxic. They have toxic metals in them. And I even thought about, like, even with the frequency, we don't even know if they're tweaking it to put even things in there that when these, frequencies and things hit from these towers, what it's doing to us. But, there's been an uptake in things like, breast cancer. This is, Breast Cancer Awareness Month, supposedly, right? So we with that, there's been an increase with it. And we got to wonder, like, why? What is it that we're wearing all these chemicals, we're putting these things on, and it's just leaking toxins into our body. So, it's really important to wear, bras that don't have the underwire. So I have one on my site. That's a really comfortable bra that I now also wear that has, zero, underwires. It's supportive. It feels good. It's flexible. It's very soft, and, it feels really good. But just something we have to think about, because as you mentioned, the divine feminine, we're getting targeted. With endocrine disruptors from all kinds of the products and different things we use. So we got to really be on it with those type of things.
Ashe. So as the goddess is saying, she has a bra that doesn't have those toxic chemicals. Again, the attack is on the heart chakra resonance. All right. The objective, if we can elevate the love frequency to a certain precipice, then it's certain pinnacle. It's a situation where the whole realm changes in its entirety. This is why the attack is on the divine feminine. So one of the things I highly recommend, and again, and if you have these lumps, if you're a goddess that have a lump, clary sage is something that you can utilize to rub on that area, or black sea oil or oil of oregano, and it would begin to eradicate that tumor. All right. She also has the clary sage available on her website as well. If you want to tag it, post it on there, then I can pin it. But I think the goddesses really need to look into those bras as well as the clary sage if they have a lump or something. Now, clary sage has been proven to eradicate things like colon cancer, lung cancer, as well as breast cancer. All right. So they tell you need to get it cut out, but you don't. There's certain herbs that you can utilize. The skin is the largest organ that would absorb and then begin to basically eradicate that tumor. All right. Oil of oregano has also been proven to shrink tumors. All right, after rigorous studies, they show that oil of oregano also because the carvacrol and thymol content. All right, and then black seed oil because of the TQ, the thymoquinone content, actually also eradicates cancer cells. All right, so these are things that I highly recommend, Cosmic Family. These are things that I highly recommend. All right, and that's my goddess website for anyone interested. And then she also again has the clary sage as well, which is going to be good for eradicating any form of tumor that may be in the breast. Peace, divine family. Ashe, big Ashe, Cosmic Family.
Peace and love.
I don't like. Yes, those are things. Listen, it says it's been scientifically proven. It's been scientifically proven that the underwire has adverse effects, especially, and like she mentioned, when they start to emanate those frequencies from those towers, it activates something in the toxic metals. That's why I also tell you to consume chlorophyll. Link in bio. All right, the chlorophyll is going to be essential because the chlorophyll also is going to remove any toxic metals. We need to be consuming large amounts of chlorophyll right now. Right now on Holistic Remedies, I have a special. If you purchase just the chlorophyll complex, I'll include the chlorophyll tablets and things of that nature as well. The chlorophyll, both forms of the chlorophyll tablets will be included as well, because right now I'm pushing detoxification with the 3IAtlas, with all of with us approaching the solar maximum. I'm pushing removing toxic metals out of you. We should be using zeolites, activated charcoals. We should be utilizing these things to remove any form of parasites or any form of toxic metals in our body currently.
That's right.
Right? And as far as the goddesses, we need to get to the point where we're completely reverting to things that basically are non-carcinogenic, that are non-cancerous. It's very important. I love the chlorophyll. I'll say chlorophyll is it's something that our bodies are very closely related to plants, Cosmic Family. All right. I told y'all in my vision when the Great War transpired, the trees was fighting right next to us. The trees are ancient ancestors that are currently in the frozen stasis. They're in stasis, but they remember, they see everything. They communicate through their root systems. You could talk to trees. You could communicate. If you're going through a problem or stressing, go vent to a tree. I guarantee you feel better.
And with your shoes off too, with your feet planted in the soil.
I'll show you. And if you touch the tree, you're going to create an arc where it's going to be more electrical, because wood is a conductor of electricity, contrary to what some think. All right, so and your melanin is more of a conductor of electricity than even copper or silicone, melanin. So when you touch the tree, and again, everybody has melanin. All right, everybody has melanin. It's more than one type of melanin. All right, but when you put your hands on that tree and you're barefoot and you're communicating with that tree, you're venting. It lowers your cortisol levels and it actually increases your electromagnetic aura field also. I once dreamed of you guys giving me hints on what's been going on with me. Ashe, we seen you in the Astros. Where are all the feminine trees? They cut them down, Cosmic Family. The ones that bear fruit are the ones that are feminine trees. Yep. Your fruit trees. All right? So and that's another way they distorted the divine feminine energy on this realm. All right? It's also attacking everything about the realm that's feminine by also removing our trees. We have a second moon now, allegedly. All the way now, I believe our moon returned. I believe since their 6,000 years is up, when our original moon was hijacked and replaced with the draconian observatory that's hollowed out, right? This is soul harvesting mechanism. I believe that our real moon is here now.
Yeah, I agree.
I believe our real moon is here. That's why it's 2 moons now all of a sudden, right? I've been seeing in a lot of my trees growing more fruit naturally. I'll say because the divine feminine energy is returning. The patriarchal system is over. We're now in the rise of the matriarchs. You're going to start seeing more fruit trees. You're going to see a different moon. The skies are going to get clearer. A lot of y'all probably been seeing your Cosmic Family. We've been seeing multiple ships. You look at a star and you notice it move.
Especially at 2, 3 a.m. in the morning, right in the middle of when it's really quiet and silent outside, you go up and look. I guarantee you're gonna see something. You're gonna see some ships moving out there. They're out there.
Now let's highlight this, baby. Didn't you say you seen a second moon? They've been hiding this whole time with chemtrails. Oh, yeah. You've been seeing the second moon. Yeah. You've been exposing it, and every time the second moon was up, they'll cover it real quick with chemtrails. I'm telling you.
And a bunch of clouds.
A bunch of clouds.
So you see it kind of peeking through, but you can't see it. They cover it up real, yeah. So absolutely.
She been seeing the 2 moons. She be like, you see that? And you'll see like a white, almost like a sun. You can't tell if it's a sun or a moon. Some celestial luminary that they're hiding. We know we got 2 suns too. Right. Right? I think it's a tri-solar system, actually. We have a black sun, we have another sun, but they have a lot of sun simulators. But the sun simulators are there to pretty much hide they cover up the real sun. So a lot of people are confused when I talk about a sun simulator. They say, are you saying the sun is fake? No, I'm not saying the sun is fake. I'm saying that they utilize deceptive technology to try to shield our real sun because they fear the neutrinos coming through, real ionizing particles transforming us and giving us access to this junk or dormant DNA. They fear that. Mm-hmm. How do you feel about their 6,000 years been up back in 1914 and maybe they did something that's kind of causing the Mandela effect? I could be wrong. I feel like what's really causing anything is us believing the illusion. Because we are electromagnetic tuning force to the cosmos, so the longer we believe in the illusion, the more we stay anchored to it, the more we envelop that reality. This is why the age of awakening is so pivotal. Because the more of us wake up, the more we pretty much create that timeline where the distortion is completely eradicated. Right? Mm-hmm. So that's why I really believe that we can change the rule just by believing they in power. That's why I don't even call them elite. That's why I call them deletes. Our words got power. Once we strip our power back and we actually start to realize who we are and we start to focus our mind and our ashe on what's important, and because again, a lot of the things they do, Super Bowl, some of the concerts, a lot of the things they do is energy harvesting, right? A lot of the things, the money system, everything is an energy harvesting tool. Once we begin to take our power back, then we begin to basically just collapse the matrix illusion and shift it from patriarchal to matriarchal. So that's what I feel about it, family. I saw in a planet on one point so close and someone started talking to me. When I look again, it disappeared. I saw a planet at one point so close and someone started talking to me. And when I looked again, it disappeared. That means...
That's probably the same thing that we see. Maybe it was a planet, a moon. I don't know, but yes, it's out there.
Uh-huh. Yeah. I mean, and listen, you know what? Also, family, we're waking up. So sometimes we may see through the matrix. Sometimes I'm looking up and I see something and I'm like, yo, I just seen something. You'll see something out of the corner of your eyes in your own house even sometimes. Mm-hmm. Apparitions, shadow apparitions, all types of... We're gaining more access to the light photon, cosmic family. We're seeing more. We only see 0.035, but now, since we're waking up, we're elevating the consciousness. The Schumann resonance has been spiking. We're gaining more access to the light photon spectrum. We're being able to see through more of the illusion. Sometimes the matrix may glitch. Like, oh, should I seen that? You see a ship real quick and then it's gone. We looking at a UFO and you think and then it's gone. You think it's an airplane and it just disappeared. Right. Planes being frozen in midair and shit. Mm-hmm. The matrix is falling. The sky is falling, right? Somebody said, true. Thank you. I truly agree. I have been hearing ringing noises from the sky. So much going on in the skies is getting intense. I'll show you. Yes, it has been very intense. My dreams are really getting more vivid. I had a dream of the ships up in the sky. You was there, family. Remember that your dreams are just alternate timelines where it seemed like one of the biggest misconceptions is us thinking it's a subconstruct of our mind. When really it's an alternate timeline because we're not the body, we're multidimensional. So we can travel to these other timelines and streams. And we can see, I said in several experiences, I seen us already fighting the military. So we already won the war. Those of you, some of you was there in Blue Lotus experiences. Get your Blue Lotus, link in bio, mugwort. All right. These are herbs that allow you to create activity in the prefrontal cortex of the brain to experience a theta frequency, which is that vibratory resonance between 4 and 8 hertz. Once you get in that resonance, you can pretty much navigate through the dreams and kind of control and manipulate the dream once you're at that resonance point. You feel me?
Somebody said they saw a cloud do that too.
Yeah, the clouds. Listen, we starting to see a lot of the extraterrestrial technology and how what they can do. I mean, there's ships that can pretty much look what they call it lenticular cloud formations. Those are the clouds that look like UFOs. They made a name up for them, family. They call them lenticular clouds, but they're really UFOs. It's cloaked as clouds, right? We know that. Just like they make up names for different conditions because there's extraterrestrial genetics all on this planet. So if a person has a little bit of scaly skin, we're more reptilian, they'll say it's ichthyosis. If you have a webbed fingers because you're a part of an aquatic being, partly part mermaid or merman, they call it syndactyl. They'll name a condition based on certain genetic changes because they have to try to make up names. They don't want us to know that this whole planet was a huge test that they was doing. Right? That the Garden of Eden, when you hear that, just really think about it as a laboratory. What does it mean to see spots of lights at the corner of my eyes? Some call them, what's that word? Floaters. Some refer to them as floaters. Often, I have a theory that it's the matrix crumbling, or that you're ascertaining more access to the light photon spectrum, and then you can see glitches of the light, because everything's light. It's just bend at different angles. Right. So since everything's really different light, sometimes you can see those light patterns glitch at times. That's my theory. I personally believe that. You know, this is why sometimes you sun gaze. You see, if you really start to really get good and proficient at sun gazing, you'll see it's just one big. It's all colors combined. Really, the sun sometimes it looks like multiple colors all combined. Somebody said I seen things in my home move around, or I see a quick flash while I'm awoke, watching something else.
We've been seeing that too.
Yeah,
we've been seeing little figures run. Or, a flash of light, or just, we've been seeing that too. Just like real quick, when you turn around, you're like, I know. So yes, that's happening more and more. We
walked out the front door and we seen like a fairy. It looked like a fairy or pixie, right, with little legs and all that. Right. We've seen moth wings, little legs on the joint, right? Almost like a hat or whatever. It looked like a little fairy. I'm like, right, yo, and then it was gone. Right. Right? Mushroom patches, super fast. Mushroom patches growing is a sign of the magic returning. Mm-hmm. It was like Maleficent, where it was all magic on the realm, and then something happened where they distorted. Oxygen is also killing us. A lot of people think we're supposed to breathe oxygen naturally, but we don't. Oxygen is rusting out our metallics. Initially, we were green in colors like blue. So this is another reason why I believe oxygen. Here's a crazy theory. Y'all gonna think I'm wilding, but I personally feel like oxygen is a massive neurotoxin that really makes us forget who we were in our past lives and all of our other incarnations. I believe oxygen is the grandfather neurotoxin that we think is helping us. We breathe in it, but we really can breathe anything because we're that resilient. But the oxygen limited our age. You know how the Anunnaki said we're going to cut your life expectancy to about 100, 150. Some of us could live to 150, 200 probably because we can become more resilient.
And even longer than that.
But I personally feel like even longer if we not bothered. Right. But I feel like the oxygen limited all our connections to our past lives. Yeah. And then if you look at that,
that's a good theory right there. That's interesting.
Mm-hmm. Like if you look at the Avatar, they was blue and green. Mm-hmm. They was blue. Something happened because if you look at iron, magnesium and then you turn it to iron and then put water and stuff on it and hydrogen, it's gonna rust. And that's what we did. We rusted. Our metallics rusted out, and we look copper and brown and the different colors. But it's really we rusted the hell out.
And if you even follow like some of like the Lemurians and things like that. Some even the Atlanteans some of them were blue, like that Avatar, looking. So that's how they get some of these movies. Yeah, these figures in the movies because they looked similar to some of these beings.
I'll show you. That's a fact. And even Isis and Horus is depicted green. And the hieroglyphics, they're green, right? And this is why I talk about chlorophyll. In ancient times, our skin, we had a magnesium molecule instead of an iron molecule. Consistently drink your chlorophyll. Drink your chlorophyll. It's very important. We should be flushing out our body of all toxins. I'm telling you, it's gonna get real. Those that are drinking, consuming large amounts of processed food with toxic metals and things of that nature. All right, and they're not fasting, they're not purging. It's gonna be a very difficult ascension process. This isn't fear mongering. This is fact. The whole reason they have been limiting us and desecrating us and attacking us is because they knew this ascension process would come. All right. And they wanted to hinder us as much as possible. Chemtrails every day wasn't a coincidence. It's not a coincidence. It's not a coincidence that they were putting inoculations in us. They were trying everything to make us feel we are that powerful. So now when